All right, this is our first single. It's called Walk With Me on the Sun. Me through the asteroid belt and nebula. There's a fire of neutron stars and a couple of red giants. Don't give a damn where I land. No more might be rusting. Give a damn where I land. No more might be rusting. All right, this is our second single. This one's called Sub-Zero. Sign of grass, no sign of rain. I could be the hero while I'm in Sub-Zero. I could save the day when my mind is astray. The soldier kneels with the sword as he bows to his lord.
Welcome back to Infinity Interviews. We're here with The Void today, a band that's coming up in the Dallas area, Garland area. So let's just get to it. How did y'all two get started with this whole music thing?
Yeah, you tell me.
Basically, we just, you know, I used to play guitar a lot when I was in high school, when I was younger, and I used to work on a lot of material. I had like a lot of different riffs and stuff. And so basically, like, we just, you know, I started coming over to his house and jamming the riffs. And we were just like, hey man, like, we should start playing drums with this. So one day, he got a drum set, and we just started jamming, you know, guitar and drums.
Well, this
basically.
actually happened long before. So, in like, let's say 6th grade, I think.
Yeah.
We were like really into Metallica and stuff like that, and like
Yeah, we actually at one point were jamming. Like,
in this very
time
room,
ago.
in this
The
very
drums
house,
and bass,
but
actually,
everything
we did that
it had
before
none of this studio stuff.
when we were younger.
yet.
But this was actually a room with like windows in it. This was like a day room, like it wasn't an office.
So now you
like
turn it
this.
into a studio.
Yeah, so we basically,
no.
when we were older, we built the walls to close in, and then we used this room as a studio actually.
But we had a
It was a very primitive
in 6th
studio.
grade. No, in 6th grade we had a drum set. I had a drum set here. I just got one, and then he had just started like playing guitar, and that's when we just started like fucking
Yeah.
around with it.
Yeah.
But we weren't
basically,
even being
that's it.
serious. We were like just like jacking around. We didn't even think of anything of it. We even have like little cassette tapes of us playing from 6th grade.
Yeah,
that
I
we
think
can't,
so somewhere.
We can't even play it because we don't have a cassette player. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Who are your biggest influences while y'all are, learning about all this music stuff and all
I
these
mean,
different genres? And
Like when we were younger, you know, we were really into like Metallica and Pantera, you know, like thrash metal stuff, Slayer, Black Sabbath, that kind of thing. We really liked metal, and you know, I guess then at one point, when I was probably like 13, then I started listening to like more abstract stuff, like The Doors and Pink Floyd, you know, that kind of thing.
what do you think about music these days? Do you still feel like there's a lot of well-sounding bands out there and they're making new stuff and still releasing music?
I mean, there are bands out there that make pretty good music
Yeah.
nowadays, but a lot of it's just so diluted because, you know, there's like a common goal. Like, I don't know, it's just everybody's just kind of making similar things. Things that
Yeah,
seem to be
like,
authentic. You
there
know,
will be either be like
as authentic, but there's
it'll
still
just-
good music out there.
it's just a bunch of like screamo bands or
And a lot
like,
of it is over compressed too, like compared to older music. So, you know, everything sounds like it's not as authentic, you know. It almost sounds like kind of manufactured the way that they mix it.
So what's your definition of authentic music?
well,
like,
really just like sitting there and playing it all together in one room, like on real instruments.
Yeah, just
And, like,
just using real
no,
instruments and you
No,
know,
like
just coming up with raw material and you
yeah,
know,
just like off the top, like not
and it's
like,
what people used to do for like years, you know, before. They did
not
any
like
of this.
freestyle rapping or shit like that. We mean like sitting down and making actual music, not like just like playing a YouTube beat. You know what I mean? Like
So what do you think about the rap industry compared to, the people that play live music? What do you feel like is marks the biggest difference between them?
well, we think it's like lazy.
There's a lot of
first off.
difference. I mean, a lot of it is just kind of like, I don't know. It's like really, it could be considered like minimalist because the way that everything is now, like they just want to make fast, easy money, and
Yeah, it's
really
like
just,
a throwaway stuff.
and a lot of it revolves around like promoting your ego and like your status and that kind of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there doesn't seem to be anything beyond that. Like it's just really simple concepts. There's nothing really abstract about it that like really sits there and makes you wonder about anything. It's just kind of like comfortable zone that they're in. They're just staying comfortable, not doing anything too crazy or different. It's a lot of it's just almost sounds like they're
What do
all
you feel
trying
like
the same thing.
your music promotes?
Well, we're trying to promote like philosophy and philosophical thinking and like
Yeah, we just I don't know.
and,
A lot
like,
of it promotes
transcendence.
free thought. A lot of it promotes just free thought, independent thought. Individualism. Like, but also
the idea that we're all
and promoting doing what you
Part of the
want to
same
do
thing.
and following your own will. And
yeah, a lot of it's just about like freedom of the mind kind of shit. Just being free spirited and not being trapped anywhere.
yeah, by culture or
Yeah,
traditions of your family or what they want you to do, stuff like that. Like
It's just nothing in particular. It's just about
it's just
like,
simple shit people go
just
through. But
freedom and honor and bravery and all that good stuff. Like it's a lot of it just is noble concepts. So honestly, it's just it also promotes some abstract ideas.
How
So-
do
so,
you feel about psychedelics and music and how they affect each other?
what we think, like
well,
the
basically,
use of psychedelics.
it can alter your mind in the way that you make music in so many different ways.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different outcomes for what that can be, but it's all fascinating, and definitely it's a lot more effective way to like freely make music rather than
It
just-
allows you to go into the music and free yourself from your ego and like thinking about yourself, and it's like you're like becoming the actual rhythms and what you're hearing,
Yeah, a lot of
I
it's
see.
just about like
like
just
going into
descending
it.
into the vastness of the universe.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's so many
It's
different
music.
realities, different dimensions. There's a lot of different dimensions of music because there's just so many different things that can be done.
It's like
It's like endless, basically.
the psychedelics are
just
just
like endless realities. There's endless. Like you can never run out of musical ideas. Some people have said one day all the notes and the chords and rhythms and everything, riffs will be made and there won't be anything left to make. But that's kind of like saying that not everything exists. Kind of like saying Earth is the only planet in the universe or something.
Yeah.
It's just like it doesn't really relate to concepts of vastness or infinity.
So what separates the ego from the universe? What separates the Christ consciousness or the embodiment of all people as one consciousness versus individual consciousness? What separates us versus me and I?
I guess it's just about basically like just getting out of your.
it's
like,
just
kinda
getting people out of their
escaping-
comfort zones because they're so ingrained in what they're doing every day, and
Yeah.
they're like, I have to work and get a job and support my family, and like that's cool and all, but and go to church and we do these traditions. We go to Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. I don't know why. I just do it because that's what we all do. Like that's just their thinking. We're trying to be like, make your own traditions, make your own holidays, like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like we're just promoting full on like create your own reality.
Yeah, it's
that's
all
what
about
we
creating
mean.
your own
like,
reality. I mean,
like just full on creativity of everything. Like we're talking about like not consuming culture at all. Like yeah, we still fucking watch TV and fucking eat McDonald's and shit, but like pretty soon we'll go in the jungle and shit, and like we're trying to start a commune and shit.
yeah, but we also promote the idea of like evolution, like as a race going into space.
But we think
Becoming
that
a very
culture,
advanced civilization.
But we
like
think
a
that-
utopia.
culture and traditions and stuff, like I was saying, like that, like it's been going on forever, and like it's not evolving humanity at all, just doing the same repetitious things over and over again year after year. We have to move past that
Yeah, we have to evolve
and
as a
create
species.
new things and new traditions to we're about to freaking like go to
If we're
Mars
gonna be hanging out
within
with
the next
aliens,
year.
one day.
Have a different perspective.
Yeah.
It's all about just.
What kind of world does your music try to paint? What world? They say life reflects art and art reflects life. What do you feel like is a reflection between y'all's life and y'all's art?
I guess basically like a way to bring some peace into the world. I guess to balance out peace from the chaos.
Yeah.
Just something that's ambient and benevolent.
Yeah, we're trying to make people like chill and relax to it, but also like make them like, it's like the music's being like, it's like the music is a psychedelic drug where they're like, you're just like falling into a trance to it, and you go somewhere else, like a mystical realm,
just like with reading a book where you travel to
Yeah,
a whole different world.
exactly.
I see the books right there close to y'all. What
Yeah.
are y'all very avid readers?
Yeah.
What are some of the books? What are your top 3 favorite books?
Well, one we really recommend is Timothy Leary, Psychedelic Experience, a manual based on the Tibetan Book of the Dead. It's from like 1964, I think, from 3 Harvard professors. They were fired for giving the students psychedelics, and they started the whole counterculture with the Beatles and everything, and it's promoting thinking for yourself, questioning authority. But that guide is really like a manual like to guide like the average person through like a psychedelic experience that's like grasping onto their ego, and they're like, no, all these things that make me, versus like because we're trying to go into like the void, which is like
The void
where
is
you,
basically
like,
the
basically
opposite of the
loop.
Matrix.
yeah.
Because imagine like the void is endless, right? It's like literally infinite. Like there's infinite everything. All realities are real, but within that is like a little ball, like a little, just like a little box or something with a matrix inside of it, which will be like everyday life and like society, like nothing outside of that, like just the idea of the like living in a dream, basically.
Is that why y'all call yourselves the Void?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, because like the void is, void is everything outside of the matrix,
And what do you feel like we could do to break out of this matrix that we're living in?
I mean,
Well-
everybody has a choice. It's up to them if they want to or not. Kind of like you have the choice between the red pill and the blue pill. A lot of people don't choose to wake up; they just choose to be asleep in a dream.
But we think that
Forever.
psychedelics are the catalyst for this. It makes people question
it is
authority.
one, psychedelics and
It
meditation.
crumbles their perceptions on what they've thought before. Because we talk to all kinds of people who say they done psychedelics, and they're just like, "Oh, frogs were talking to me and stuff," and like,
Well, they just
I
never
was
thought
like,
anything of it,
yeah, but like,
Just
it's like you gotta really like have an expanded consciousness,
Yeah.
What do you feel like?
to like even begin to even dabble in it. You can't just be some idiot, or else you'll just be like, "Whoa, this is trippy," like, and they would never learn anything. So it's like some people can just like take psychedelics and just not learn shit at all. So,
Yeah.
Do you feel like we need another revolution of people, like to go against the authority type of mindset? And what do you feel like? There's a whole lot of political stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
What do you feel like
Yeah.
is your opinion on politics and the government?
Well, I mean, it's happened throughout history.
Yeah.
The government becomes corrupt and the people take over, and a revolution occurs. I mean, so this is definitely not the first time that it's happened before.
Yeah.
It's a cycle, just like the cycle of life.
as for modern politics, we're not involved in it at all. Like,
It's just like a loophole, basically.
yeah, we're just like anything involved in that. Like either side is like being brainwashed to our like views. So like, we're just like staying out of it and dropped out of politics and like focusing on creating other shit.
At the same time, I recommend if you want to be a politician or a congressman, you should just do it. You shouldn't bitch at the people who are doing it. Like, just do that. If you're really that concerned about it, in a lot of ways that hasn't worked out because a lot of shitty people get in there. That's just how it works. We just try to focus on creating art and ideas.
So going back to the
New
art and
concepts.
ideas.
It's really just new concepts. What did we say?
Oh, I said going back to the art and ideas. What projects have y'all worked on? What have y'all released?
So we've actually been working on some singles. The first one is called "Walk with Me on the Sun."
We released that about a year ago.
Yeah, and that's a song about like, kind of like it just describes being in space, like walking on the sun. Kind of.
And we're making a music video currently for that we're gonna release soon.
Yeah, and then
So we'll be
the second single
we're
is
promoting
called
that right now.
Sub-Zero. So it kind of describes being like in a cold, icy world, but it's also kind of about like being able to like achieve great things. Even when you're at your worst. It's kind of like about like you can be at the top 1 minute and the bottom the next minute. You never know, kind of thing.
And then we have an album coming up that we're
Yeah.
currently in the process of making. We're gathering all of our sessional items for this.
We've been working on a project called Gravity for quite some time, and we're just now investing some equipment for it to make the studio album, and that will be our first studio album. Probably gonna have about 12 tracks on it.
You have a release date yet, or a deadline? That
No,
No.
we've made a demo
We're currently
already.
actually in the process.
Oh.
We're about to start recording it.
Yeah,
But
we're making all
we're
the
gonna be
final
releasing
adjustments and everything, and then we're gonna start recording the actual album. Then we're gonna tour it. But
Yeah.
our live shows, we play the whole
We'll
album
make
along with
music
our
videos
singles.
for it. We'll be making probably about 5 music videos for that first album, and we're gonna do a tour with it, basically.
And then we're gonna be releasing 2 more singles after that.
Yeah, we'll release 2 more singles, and then sometime after that, when we do some touring and get some music videos out there and gain some publicity, we're
Tobacco only.
planning to go to California to Sunset Sound in Los Angeles and record a second album. It's going to have about 24 tracks on it. It's going to be kind of a long album. It's going to have 2 discs, 2 sides, you know, part 1 and part 2 of the album, basically. It's got 2 parts.
Yeah,
it's
we're
basically
recording
like
this in
one
LA.
giant symphonic movement. It's kind of like one big symphony, but it's divided into different songs. You know?
And the reason we're recording this in LA at Sunset Sound is because that's where the Doors recorded in the late 60s.
But I mean, it's a rock symphony, you know. It's a rock album. These are rock albums we're making.
Yeah.
Actually, that's why our record company is called Rock Creek Records, and this is Rock Creek
Yeah, it's Rock Creek.
Studios. So
It's by Rock Creek.
that's
So,
how.
are there other members to the band? Are you thinking about adding more people later on? Or is it
Well,
just
We're currently looking for a bassist and a rhythm guitarist. So ideally, we'd have 2
Yeah,
other guys with us,
but-
but to the minimum, you know, we need a bassist with us.
It's, you know, everybody around
We're
us
looking for one
is
right
just
now.
trying to be a rapper, so it's like we don't know anybody that actually plays instruments.
It's hard to come by
you know,
nowadays,
like,
man. It's hard to find a reliable bassist like
yeah, like
nowadays, or really like any kind of musician, because there's just not many of them. There's a scarcity. Back in the day, there was an abundance of musicians. You know,
Yeah.
now there's like a scarcity of them. So you know, it's not always easy to find somebody that's just willing to play an instrument with you, because a lot of people just like listening to, you know, just stuff that was conveniently made. It sounds kind of synthetic, you know, artificial.
What do you feel like we can do to change that? What do you think caused that to happen in society? Did we just get...
Basically, things are like the amount of effort that's being required to make like music and art, literature, and all that, movies and stuff. It's just been slowly declining, you know.
yeah,
about
and,
the
you know,
last
video games and
20
Netflix and everything. People
about
are
the
just
last
lazy
20
and
years.
just preoccupied to.
About the last 20 to 25 years, it's just been slowly.
Basically,
declining.
everything nowadays is just like a reference to something that already came out. They're just like referencing an old movie or something.
So now it's just like taking less and less effort to make, you know, like music and art.
You know what I mean?
And now it's just like it seems like it's just evolving into like, you know.
There's
really
no new
minimal-
ideas coming out that we haven't seen
It
before.
just seems to be
That's what we're saying.
minimalist and simplistic.
Yeah.
You know, which like the people are just appreciating the simplicity of something rather than, you know, the complexity of it.
I think that because we're getting lazier or we're trying to move faster.
Both.
It can be both, you know, and it requires less thinking, which, you know, therefore promotes less.
We're promoting
thought.
like deep thoughts, so it's like to listen to these songs. There's like you have to like sit there and watch it like a movie, like listen to
Yeah.
it like it's a movie. Like
Well, I
you're
mean, just
watching.
like
a
we're
movie.
listening to any kind of music, you
But
know.
versus like,
if
you
you're
know,
intensely analyzing it, you're like in a really deep state. Of
yeah, we
thought.
just fuck with intensely analyzing shit, like,
You know,
personally.
It's
like,
all about like exposing the subconscious, because a lot of people, you know, they're all on the surface. You know, they're not really, you know, down deep in the subconscious realm. You know,
We're just
which
all
is like
about-
connected to the realm of infinite realities. You know,
yeah.
which is infinite realms.
Like we'll analyze the shit out of anything, like any subject. We just deeply study it,
Yeah, I mean, you know,
get to the
So
bottom
what
of
about
it, figure it out.
Christianity, what you take
You know,
on?
we just
On
what do we say?
religion, or
You know,
so
It's
like with religion and like, you know, like especially with Eastern, Western, you know, stuff
Yeah, we-
that isn't in like Asia or
yeah, we
India,
think that Eastern like
it's like
is like way more.
the Judeo-Christian Islam complex. It's just kind of like
It's like a soul trap.
It's a doctrine.
Because we made a video on
I
this,
can-
talking about
you know,
this previously.
It's like a doctrine of like a limited. You're basically trapped in a limited reality. You know, it
Yeah, you
doesn't
know,
allow
like-
you to go anywhere but in that one reality. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, you just give your soul to the Lord.
Instead of being
and-
able to, you know, live whatever you want, do whatever you want, like it's basically, and also it tells you to go against your natural instincts. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the idea of it is you gotta do what you don't want to do. You can't do what you want to do, and if you don't live your life doing what you don't want to do, then you know you're gonna suffer after that. It just seems.
We
kinda
think it's just
arrogant.
like a religion made up, you
And
know,
all
just
these,
for
all
slaves.
this stuff like this, they, you know, make it seem like that their God is like a man. Why would he be a man if there's like a whole universe with stars and all these different universes and all this stuff?
Yeah, like
How
you
would,
can't
you
think
know-
about all this shit and be Christian. It's like,
I'm just saying, and you think about the universe and the planet is so much older than humans. You know, it's just it's been here so much longer. It's been here for
yeah,
billions
it's like,
of years.
it's about questioning authority.
You know, and there's
That's
just
authority.
so think about how many other types of life forms out there, whether it be physical life forms or you know, multidimensional life forms or like universal entities, cosmic entities. You know, like there's just so many other conscious. Everything is just one consciousness, basically.
Do you believe in destiny or fate, or is it all just free will?
Well, we believe that we can
Basically-
make our own will, and we can do what thou wilt.
Basically, the driving force makes the fate and destiny for the nature and the fabric of reality.
Yeah, but we just like.
That's
do
like
what
how
we
it all
want.
works. Basically, it's just a driving force. You know?
Yeah, it's like a driving force. It's, like, we're
everything
being
is all
driven
one.
towards it, but
like
it's like
everything that happens is just it's like all connected into one like unit. It's like one point of energy. you
it's
know?
like by us
And
wanting to
it's a
fuck with
point
something.
in
That's just the
something
driving
else.
force, like making us fuck with it. But we're making ourselves fuck with
Yeah.
it.
So basically, everything.
it's all
is
a
everything.
loophole, you know. So it's like we are the driving force. So it's like our brain is
Everybody's
God.
like a part of it. You know.
Yeah, if our brain is God, then like
Instead of
God
trying
is
to
making my fate, then I'm making my own fate, right? There you go.
Instead of trying to separate you like from. You know,
I mean, people would be like, "Whoa, y'all think you're God or you're Jesus or whatever?" I'm like, yeah, but not
kinda-
like
it just,
the
like,
way
shuns
that
your
you
own
think. You
knowledge.
know, it's like
'cause they
the
talk
way
about
you're
the fruit
thinking
of knowledge. You know.
the way people are thinking of it. It's like they're like thinking, you know, that we are having egos about it, but we're just like, bro, we're all the same guy. We're not saying like we're Jesus, worship me. We're saying that like I am Jesus, or like you're Jesus, or he's
Yeah.
Jesus, or that guy over there's Jesus, or we're all Buddha, or we're all fucking Krishna or shit. Like it's like people don't know about any other cultures. It's like we've studied all these cultures, and then that's why we can say just shit on your culture. It's like none of these cultures matter. They're all just made up by
Yeah.
other humans.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
And we're just like,
It's all just
make
made
your
by
own
men on
culture.
Earth.
You know, we're trying to start some new shit. It's like all these people have been following, like all these people in Texas, they're just Christians. Anything you say about Buddha or Hinduism to them, they'll be like, what the fuck? That's the devil. Or like,
Yeah.
what? That's
anything.
stupid. That's a false idol. You know?
Right.
And I bet there's some Buddhists and Hindus that are like, what? Jesus? That's fucking stupid. But
Yeah,
like most,
right.
but most Eastern religions, they're like accepting of it. They're like, yeah, dude, Buddha and Krishna, Jesus, they're all the same. But it's like, you know, more Western thought. It's like
It
they're
gets-
boxed off, and they're
all
like,
that is real.
no,
You know?
everything else besides what's like
What?
American and fucking, you know, it's
What-
fucked up.
What question would you ask the universe if you had a chance to ask the universe anything?
I mean.
I
I was
mean,
gonna ask the universe a question, like I would probably just like, you know, ask what's beyond this. What's beyond you, bro? What lies beyond
this is where
you?
the psychedelics come in, because
You know what I mean? Because
when
like,
you take psychedelics, say if you take 5Gs and Silent Darkness, like Terrence McKenna recommends, and this is a plug for, because, you know, we fully promote Terrence McKenna and Timothy Leary, and we want everybody to check them out, because we're trying to, like, you know, lead on the type of path that they started, you know, and bring it to like this generation. Because if you look these guys up, I mean, they've just promoted all this too, you know, like free thought, think for yourself,
yeah,
question
yeah.
authority. You know, we were all in the box once. You know, we were there, we've experienced it.
Yeah.
Well, where were we at? What'd you say?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be trapped in a box, you know?
Do you think any kind of afterlife exists?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
of course.
what we think is like
So
we can do
basically-
whatever we want.
Look, instead of there just being one reality, like, you know how, like, the Bible, everything says, the only thing that's going to happen, the only choices you have after death is either heaven or hell. Because all there is
We
is heaven,
believe
hell, and
people
earth.
make their own.
That's
heaven
like
and
saying
hell.
Earth is the only planet in the universe, basically. So, you know, like, sure, that reality is real. That sure probably really exists for people that believe it.
Yeah, like somebody
'Cause
that really believes in heaven,
you gotta
like
think
they're
about
gonna
the
go to
power of
heaven,
a
and they like really
manifestation.
know they're good. Like if somebody like believes in hell and heaven, and they're like
you
they
believe
know
it, it's
they're
real.
like, and they're paranoid about shit, and they're like they know they're fucking up. They're like they're gonna manifest themselves in hell, like
Yeah.
and like. So we're just like, dude, we can manifest ourselves like in fucking SpongeBob world if we want. Or
Yeah.
something, you know what I
Or,
mean?
like, you can be in, like, you know, ambient England.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you can be anywhere. You can do anything. You can be anyone, you know?
Yeah, but
So how do you feel about our connection with the physical world and nature? And how
I
we treat the
mean,
planet?
it's honestly impossible to say what lies beyond the 3D reality that, you know, our physical, mental surroundings, you know.
But you love
it's hard
nature,
for the
right?
human mind to conceptualize what exists beyond that. But there is definitely, you know, a lot more, you know, it's like everything is just so much more intense and vast than you would ever think, you know.
but you like nature, right?
Yeah, and honestly, nature is a much more honest, you know,
It's like
guide.
nature is alive and talking to you,
Like, nature is a much more honest guide
and that's
to the
not
afterlife
metaphorical.
than, you know, words from people, you know. Would you rather listen to the billion-year-old doctrine of nature or the few thousand-year-old doctrine of physical humans that are just one small aspect of nature?
Yeah, this is like
Nature
we are
represents-
nature.
Nature represents,
Like our billion-year-old
endlessness.
chemical processes that happen to us in our neurology is like
Nature kind of
billions
really
of
just
years old.
represents the endless trance that's been going on for just like billions of years. you
We're
know,
like with
forever.
our, you know, it's like they say in the psychedelic experience, with your ego left behind you, your brain can't go wrong
It doesn't represent a beginning or an end to
because it
anything,
is
you know?
nature. Your brain is nature. Your brain is God, and so it's like if you don't know who you are, and that's like people. That's why people are scared because it's just they're like scared to like forget who they are and like you know.
I mean, you don't have to forget who you are. It's just
You're
about
gonna come back.
understanding more outside of that.
Not like
than
that,
just
it's like,
yourself,
you
than
know,
just your own
that's-
persona and ego and personality and character. You know, understanding what's beyond that.
So why do you feel like our society is so ego-driven these days?
Well, like consumerism, materialism.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
It's just this the way society is driven. It's like everybody's just working for a corporation or something, you know. Everybody's just like a cog in a machine at every job. Like
Yeah,
unless you're
Basically, like,
creating something,
it's a giant.
you're like
calculator.
you're a part of somebody else's plan. Like we all fucking work normal jobs and shit. Like that we don't fucking like give a shit about. We're just like helping some
just
random
being a
fucker make money,
a
you know.
component in one giant
And he's just
machine
like paying us
that's
some
only
chump change for
benefiting
it.
like one person, you know. And you're just a component in that machine, you know, basically.
Yeah, we're trying to like make our own machine, but like not a fucked up machine, you know, like a
Yeah.
good machine, like
So
a community.
what would you do in addition to your art, or would you just continue with your art and the
Well,
music?
see,
Well, we're writing books. He's writing a book
I mean,
now.
I got some books, some novels that I'm working on, but also, just aside from making the albums, we want to make, you know, like picturesque, high definition, high tech movies, you know, with a CGI in them.
Yeah, and music videos, and
You know.
we're gonna
And
make.
so it would basically be like making a real movie for a song, you know, even if it's only a few minutes. It would still basically be like making a movie, you know, like that much effort basically is what we're trying to put into it.
Yeah,
You know,
but
like we're actually going to be using filmmaking, so we'll be not only releasing music but films, you know, for the music, and then you know, also we want to release books. You know, I got a couple sci-fi novels I'm working on.
And you do all that through the equipment y'all just invested in, right?
yeah, we're investing
Right.
in all of this stuff, and
And so, you know, I would also be interested in making other films and all that stuff with the movie
Yeah.
making technology
But-
that we have.
initially, right now, we're just starting off. We're gonna try to. We need a bass player, and we're gonna start doing shows around Dallas, and we have a van now, and you know, we're gonna try to like start doing shows all over Texas
We're
eventually.
in the process of getting better equipment right now, you know.
So, but do you feel like people that are, you know, like you said, components to the machine, the ones that are in the factory making this equipment, the people, it's mindless work for certain people.
Are you talking about the equipment we're buying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's like, you know,
We're
society
we're
is,
contributing to it.
yeah, it's kind of like a cycle, you know. It's
A lot
like,
of
That's what I'm saying.
sometimes you need
How the
mindless
fuck do?
people.
But you know, a lot of the stuff is actually
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We do
custom
need
made.
we do need mindless people, but I'm just saying like the people that choose to listen to this shit, they're gonna get somewhere. But it's like I'm saying,
Well, they'll
some mindless
understand.
dumbass is gonna, like will listen to this and be like, "Fuck this, I'm turning it off," and then like nothing will come of it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I mean, you can go on a whole journey. with music,
Like
basically.
you know, like
It's
somebody
basically
that
just
would like
you can go on a whole journey with the music, because you know a lot of the best music out there.
yeah, because
when
there's
you're listening to all of it, it's like you're taking a journey, you know.
Because, like, a band we fuck with, Tool, they're about to release an album. They haven't released an album in 13 years, and people are, like, going crazy about it because all these people, like, fuck with this psychedelic shit and all the shit we fuck with that we're talking about. And, like you know, 60s Jimi Hendrix shit, you know, psychedelic Beatles, you know, to the 90s, to
Yeah.
the Nirvana and Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, that type of shit.
Yeah, that's all.
They
you know,
all
real
fuck
stuff.
with that type of shit, and so obviously, like, and then, like, people are like so excited about that because there's like a scarcity of anything authentic nowadays. It's like it's mostly just like been flooded with like corporate consumerist shit. Like
Yeah.
mostly everything that's promoted that's music is like promoting some kind of consumerism or like
Yeah.
materialism.
It's promoted.
You know what I
it's
mean?
just
Like, if you really
promoting
think about it, like
consumerism.
anything on the radio nowadays, it's just promoting some type of like
It's just promoting some kind of product or some kind of clothing or
yeah.
you know car or something. You know, like
Yeah.
So what advice do you have to the next generation of people to not do it the same way? What advice would you
To
have?
make everything your own.
to basically to
To question authority
Yeah.
and think for yourself and just look within
Yeah, and
yourself
that
and you'll
unveils-
find your own answers
that
and
unveils the subconscious.
just stop following what you don't want to follow, you
so
know?
that
Just
brings
make,
a lot of different ideas, you know, into your reality.
be like, if you want to follow some shit, follow it. Fuck it. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, that's your choice, dude.
I mean, you
Like-
can think however you want, you know.
But we're saying think for yourself. So, like, I guess you're thinking for yourself if you're like, you know what? But we want them to willingly know that. We want them to be like, yeah, I've thought about it and I want to conform to this ideology. You know?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
want them to fucking say it. We don't want them to bullshit around, you know, and be like, oh man, I'm not conformist.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
It couldn't also be their interpretation of jumping through different realities, and 1 minute they're in that reality, and 1 minute they're also with the universe and into different
Yeah.
ideologies.
Yeah, but the way that we
Right,
are,
right.
like we've studied Christianity, we've studied Buddhism, we studied Hinduism. It's not like at one point while we were studying them, like yeah, we were like, you know, we have like some, you know, we have Buddhist artwork and Hindu artwork and shit, but it's not like
Yeah.
we're fucking Buddhist or Hindu. We just
Yeah.
fuck with the concepts because those like we were saying, the Eastern mystical
Well,
concepts
it's
are
a lot
more.
older, first of all.
They're more.
It's been around. a
They're
lot
more
longer.
like interpretations of psychedelic experiences that we've had than anything that we've ever seen. You know, like this was going on in the 60s when all this happened. Like that's how the Buddhism even came and Hinduism even came to America. It's like through the Beatles and shit like that. Them exploring all that shit, meditation and all that shit. Like, you know, like it's, you know, transcendental meditation and yoga and shit like that. And that's how that all came to America. You know, you see that everywhere now. Like, but they've fucking marketed it and made it in consumerism. So you have shit like Zumba or something, where people are like doing fucking yoga classes and listening to pop music, and they're like just dancing. They're not doing like real like meditation yoga like the traditional way, but like
Yeah.
not the fucked up kind of tradition that we're talking about. Like we're talking about like a tradition of like mystics and like visionaries and like gurus.
Right.
You believe that magic
Deities.
once existed in the world?
Magic.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, it
I don't know.
could. I mean, you know, by the laws of physics, none of that is really possible. You know, if you just think about like.
I mean we're dabbling
On
in.
technical
I mean I don't
level.
want to say that.
But at the same time, I mean, if other realities can be, if other, you know, realms of consciousness can be opened up, then why wouldn't the ability to defy the laws of physics and gravity be a possibility?
Wouldn't that be quantum physics?
Yeah, I'm just saying, You could never rule out the possibility that it is actually possible to defy the laws of physics and gravity, because that's all what magic is, you know. And so, I mean, you never know. Somebody could have once had the capability to, you know, do that, but we don't know that for sure. We don't actually have any proof.
But yeah.
But I mean, you know, taking like a rocket to space, that's like, that's a crazy accomplishment. It really takes some serious thought to do something like that, you know. So it's one of the ways that we as a race have been basically able to push against the laws of gravity, really. So, you know.
What advice would you have for people that want to take the time to learn and play an instrument?
You just gotta take a little bit of time out of your day, man. Honestly, just take some dedication. You know,
Yeah.
Really, like, you just gotta be able to sit there for at least 10 minutes or something like that.
If you want to be a
5
rock
10
and roll
minutes
star,
a day. Like, just sit down and mess around with the guitar or the drums a little bit, you know, or piano or whatever instrument you prefer to play, and just take a little bit of time to sit there and think
it's
about
just
it.
how
and
willing
figure
and
out how to do
dedicated
it.
you are to do it.
You know, some people it just comes natural. For others, you know, it takes a little bit of effort and work. But you know, anybody can do it. You know, it's just, you know, how bad do you want to. It's just about how bad you want to pursue the goal.
So where can your people find you on social media, or where can they access your music?
Well, we're on Instagram at The Void Official Band. And my Instagram is Fletcher_The Void.
Yeah.
And he's just on Twitter. And that's it. Oh, and Facebook The Void.
Yeah.
What's your Twitter? Tell them.
Oh yeah, my Twitter is Chevy Heron. So you
Yeah.
can find me there.
Right. Is there anything y'all want to say? Any last words?
Any last words? Well, I would have 3 words for you, which would be think for yourself.
Question authority.
Also, time is an illusion and your existence is theoretical.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.